Once upon a timeless tableau in the melody of a tranquil countryside town, a seemingly perfect love story unfolded. This story blossomed in a quaint corner of the world, where time seemed to move at a leisurely pace. The town, with its cobbled streets and antiquated buildings, whispered tales of yesteryears. It was as though the gentle wind that rustled the trees carried the soft murmurs of countless love stories that had played out in this picturesque setting. In this town lived Sarah and James, a pair so deeply in love that people often likened their bond to a well-written novel filled with passion and intrigue. Their souls, so effortlessly intertwined, they were almost a mirror of each other. Sarah was an artist, a painter. Her canvas was a reflection of her soul, each stroke a testament to her raw emotions. Her art was her expression, her way of letting the world peek into her innermost feelings. James, on the other hand, was a truth seeker. He was a journalist, wielding his pen as one would a sword. He passionately pursued truth and justice, his articles a beacon for those seeking fairness. Each word he penned was a bold stand against untruth, each sentence a call for accountability. Together, they painted a picture of idyllic serenity. Their love story was a testament to the timeless bond that they shared. The tranquility of their existence was the perfect backdrop for their love. As pure as the dew-kissed morning and as enduring as the centuries-old trees that stood guard over their town. Their tale, not unlike the idyllic rhythm of the town they called home, was a portrait of love and life in its most authentic form. Once upon a timeless tableau, in the melody of a tranquil countryside town, a seemingly perfect love story unfolded. Sarah and James, a pair so in love, their souls seemed intertwined. Sarah, a painter whose canvas brimmed with raw emotion, and James, a truth seeker wielding his pen as a journalist, painted a picture of idyllic serenity. Yet, as the pages of time turned, a restless wind began to stir within James. Life was beginning to feel like an endless loop of mundane events. He woke up each day, put on his suit, and immersed himself in the world of finance, a world that once held so much appeal for him. The allure of discovering hidden treasures in a balance sheet, the thrill of spotting opportunities in a market downturn, the satisfaction of making a profitable deal. These had once been the elements that ignited the sparks that made his life shine. But now, the weight of his career bore heavily upon him. The numbers that once danced with energy before his eyes had turned monotonous. The complex problems that he used to unravel with relish had become tedious. Every graph started looking similar, every financial report seemed a replica of the previous one. The world that he had once ruled with confidence and competence now made him feel trapped. He yearned for a spark of excitement, a dash of unpredictability, a wave of newness that would make his heart flutter with anticipation again. Amidst the clamor of his own discontent, he yearned for something or someone who could reignite his passion for life. This spark materialized in the form of Emily, a woman cloaked in mystery and brimming with confidence. Her arrival was like a breath of fresh air, sweeping away the cobwebs of his monotony and igniting a flame of curiosity within him. He was drawn to her enigmatic personality, her captivating aura, and the shimmer of intrigue that surrounded her. She was a puzzle he wanted to solve, a mystery he wanted to unravel, a challenge he was eager to take on. Emily, a woman cloaked in mystery and brimming with confidence. James found himself ensnared by Emily's allure, caught in a complicated web of mixed emotions. Intriguingly, Emily was not his first love. That honor belonged to Sarah, a woman he had pledged his heart to a long time ago. Sarah, who held a special place in his heart, was not aware of James's growing fascination for Emily. Emily, with her dazzling aura and magnetic charm, was increasingly becoming a distraction for James. He found himself drawn to a pull that was becoming harder to resist every day. It wasn't a sudden attraction. It began subtly, a lingering look here, a shared smile there. It was a gradual process, an insidious infatuation that grew with every passing day. His once unshakable commitment to Sarah was challenged by his burgeoning affection for Emily. He found himself caught in a web of emotional turmoil, torn between his commitment and his attraction, was eating him from inside, making him lose his sleep and peace. And thus, secrets began to accumulate, a clandestine collection of emotions and feelings he couldn't share with Sarah. The time he once spent with Sarah was now taken up by Emily, a fact that was taking a toll on his relationship with Sarah. The stolen moments with Emily, however, were becoming his sweet escape from reality, his refuge. He found himself at a crossroads, stuck between the invigorating passion for Emily and his enduring love for Sarah. Secrets began to accumulate. and the time he once spent with Sarah was now filled with stolen moments with Emily. Meanwhile, Sarah felt a chill creeping into their once warm relationship. It was a sensation, cold and distant, that seemingly snuck up out of nowhere. It wasn't a dramatic shift, but rather a gradual change that had only just begun to prick at her consciousness. The love-filled glances they used to share, those intimate moments of silence, were slowly being replaced with distant, indifferent stares. The transformation was subtle, yet devastatingly clear to her. Those treasured, spontaneous conversations that once sparked joy, laughter, and warmth now echoed with a chilling emptiness. The words exchanged felt hollow, the silence between them heavier than ever before. It was as if their once profound connection had faded into a mere shadow of what it used to be. This wasn't the vibrant love they had once lived, it had been replaced with something colder, something distant. Feeling the disheartening transformation, Sarah found herself yearning for the warmth they used to share. She yearned to rekindle their love, to bring back the vibrant colors that once painted their relationship. It was a desperate longing, a desire to resurrect what seemed to be dying. In an attempt to do so, Sarah poured her heart and soul into her paintings, hoping each brushstroke might somehow breathe life back into their fading emotions. Desperate to rekindle their love, Sarah poured her heart into her paintings, hoping to resurrect the dying emotions. However, one evening, the truth unveiled itself in the form of a hidden message on James's phone. An undeniable reality that Sarah had refused to accept was now staring back at her. She found herself holding her breath, her hand shaking as she traced the words on the screen. The world around her seemed to fade into the background as her heart pounded in her chest. The words of the message echoed in her head, like a haunting melody playing on repeat. Numbness washed over her as she tried to digest the reality of her situation. Her mind was a whirlwind of thoughts, each one more devastating than the last. Questions flooded her mind. How could James do this? Why would he betray their love so callously? Each question was like another dagger to her already aching heart. She felt the love that once filled her heart, slowly being replaced by a feeling she never thought she'd experience: betrayal. The emotions that were once a beautiful symphony of love and trust had turned into a cacophony of hurt and deceit. Every beautiful memory they had created together was now tainted with the stain of his betrayal. Her heart, a vessel that was once filled with love, was now a canvas of betrayal and heartbreak. The pain was all-consuming, the betrayal soul-shattering. She was drowning in a sea of despair, struggling to keep her head above water. The waves of hurt crashed over her relentlessly, each wave more powerful than the last. Nothing could have prepared her for the storm that was now brewing inside her. With a heavy heart, Sarah confronted James. This was not how she envisioned their story unfolding. The room was stifling, the air thick with tension. He sat across the room, his eyes averted from hers. She could see the remorse etched on his face, but remorse was of no use now. Sarah remembered how James's laughter used to light up her world, his voice, a soothing lullaby that chased away her fears. But now, the laughter had faded, and all that remained was a bitter silence. The trust she had in him, the unspoken bond they shared, was shattered. It was as if a part of her had been ripped away, leaving a gaping void. His guilt was palpable, the regret apparent in his eyes. But it was a bitter pill swallowed too late. He had betrayed her trust, and there was no turning back now. The damage was irrevocable. Their cherished love story, once filled with shared dreams and laughter, was now tainted. No amount of regret could mend the fracture that had been caused. Their love story was now a tale of broken trust. In the aftermath, the couple found themselves navigating through the ruins of their relationship. Sarah, left to pick up the pieces of her shattered dreams, sought solace in her art, while the scars of betrayal etched themselves onto her soul. James, on the other hand, was left to drown in a sea of regret, realizing the worth of the love he had lost. As the years rolled on, Sarah and James moved forward, their past a haunting shadow. Their tale stands as a stark reminder of the delicate nature of trust and the devastating aftermath of betrayal. Their story, a testament to love, loss, and the lessons learned in the wake of it all.